welcome back to an episode of We stand right in front of a wall and a door, the monastery basement, and it's time for us to get down there. It's right there in Rosimorn Monastery, and the entrance is somewhere over there, further to the north. There's also a second entrance somewhere down there, but we just ignore that one and go straight through the front door, because why not? And we are in Creche Yllek, and we got ourselves a level up. Well, that is kind of inconvenient. Ish. Like, the thing is, how much experience did I even get? Like, what is this? We don't know how much experience we got. We just got a lot. That's what it means. Okay. Yeah, looks like I'm going to do a quick level up, it seems, and the whole exploration of the Rosimorn Monastery will be done later, it seems. Huh. Well, look at that. Okay, let's just go for Karlach first. Let's just do it in reverse order, kind of. Oh, look at all of that health. That's amazing. What is this? Feral Instinct. You have honed your instincts to the utmost degree. You gain a +3 bonus to initiative and can't be surprised. Huh. Okay. Well, that's nice. And then we can also change the bestial heart again, but we don't want to. It's nice that you have the opportunity to do this. But it, like, the thing is, every time you level up, right, you can change your bestial heart. You don't gain anything. You don't get better at it. You just get another chance to or like a chance opportunity, not a chance, like you don't have to roll for this. You have the opportunity to change that, right? So it should actually be, if you think about it, something that you can change on the regular basis, like maybe on a long rest something, or like, yeah, kind of like Speak with the Dead, right? Or any other ritual spell. You activate them and they stay active. Same for this. You have some alignment to the animals, and maybe in a way that you can only do this after a long rest, so you cannot abuse this system or like get too much out of the system, let's say. And then you don't have to think about it. Oh, do I have to select something else now while I'm leveling or whatever? Because leveling should be for improving the character and not changing the character. It's kind of weird if you think about it. And you don't level all the time, and the further you progress in the story, or like in your levels, the harder it is for you to change stuff, right? So you may end up with some settings that you don't quite like just because you've changed the character a bit. And it's just really weird. And also, this is only good if you know what you're going against, right? So in this case, it prevents you, or like it. The best way of using that mechanic would be to wait until you find an enemy where leveling up makes sense. So you wait with your levels, you progress as far as you can, and then once you hit a certain roadblock that's too difficult, and you need, let's say, a different heart and different animal heart for this, then you just select a different one and do the level up at that moment. Or like a save, quick save before that, right? But again, leveling should not be used in that kind, or at least like I think it shouldn't be used in this case. Like you should always be happy. Oh, I got a level. I'm going to level up, and not, oh, I have a level. Oh boy, what am I gonna do with it? Let's just wait and not level up. So it kind of goes against the whole using mechanics of the game kind of thing. It's like not using alchemy, right? You have so many potions, or like, if you are given a very rare ingredient and you don't know what you're going to do with this, right? Usually what you do is nothing. Same would go for this one here. You don't do anything until you need it, right? And you keep it like in stasis for as long, or like keep it prepared, whatever, right? But you don't actually utilize that system until then, which is a wee bit iffy. It's like, yeah, also another idea would be not to move the character because there are so many traps around, right? It doesn't incentivize playing it. It goes kind of against it. Anyway, what do we have here? Add additional strength modifier. Yeah, I got this one somewhere in the past. But anyway, we can't select. Well, we can select stuff, but we don't change anything because reasons. And I just like the bear stuff. The only problem with the bear thingy is that yeah, you cannot use smites while you're raging. It's not only the bear; it's like everything in here. So, if you really think about it, if anything, allies have advantage on melee attacks again. A melee against. There's only one other ally that does melee attacks. The jump distance is pretty good, so you can hop on the battlefield pretty often. What does Tiger's Bloodlust do again? Lash out to the enemy up to 3. Okay, so this is a mass enemy destruction kind of spell. We don't need that. I want her to stay alive for as long as possible and focus down a heavy enemy. So bear seems to be the only one that makes at least sense for my kind of playstyle. And we are not going to do Ranger level 6 on this one. Let's just get out of here. Why is Lae'zel not leveling?
Assume nothing.
Oh, poor Lae'zel. You need 97 additional experience. I don't know why you don't have that. That is really mean. Everybody gets a level up except Lae'zel, the one whose Creche we just found, right? It doesn't seem to be phased at all. Everybody's like, oh, look at this, like a Yankee Creche. And she's like, nah, I've seen that one before. No experience gain. Kind of makes sense if you think about it. But okay, let's just level up Astarion into another level of Rogue and see what we got. No change whatsoever. Pretty neat. No need to fuss about it. Your agility lets you dodge out of the way of certain spells. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo. When a spell or effect would deal half damage on a successful dexterity saving throw, it deals no damage if you succeed and only half damage if you fail. So wait a minute. When a spell or effect would deal half damage on a successful dexterity saving throw. If it would deal half damage, it deals no damage. Okay, so it gets a little bit better in this case, but it deals no damage if you succeed, makes sense, and only half damage if you fail. So if you fail, nothing changes, basically, because it was already half damage before. So the question is, how do you get half damage from a dexterity saving throw on a spell? That might just be very, very specific kind of spells that can utilize evasion. It, like the first sentence of it, kind of lets you get all hype up. Oh, look at this, agility lets you dodge out of the way of spells. Certain spells, right? The question is just which of those make it certain for you to dodge, and which other spells use like mind or intelligence saving throws or whatnot. But we have so much dexterity, there should not be an issue. But that's actually kind of interesting. But alright, that also makes him a bit more safe as a rogue in general. It's pretty sweet. I'm just kind of surprised by the amount of HP we've gotten over here. Alright, and again we can select stuff, but wait a minute, let me just look at the pages over here. Ranger level 6 was not an idea. Not that kind of an idea, at least. The last 2 levels will be Wizard, and the levels until then will be Rogue. If not, a Cleric somewhere in there. That's just the question. What am I gonna do with level 5 Rogue? What's so special about that? Yeah, because I want at least 4 levels in something else. Because I may only be able to get 2 feats and not 3. So this is something to keep in mind. So the feats that you actually get are just the special abilities of a multi-class stuff and whatnot. But right now we are... Actually, what do we get over here? Like favorite enemy. Another one. Or what? Yeah, you actually can get another one. This is actually quite nice, with the whole proficiency in Arcana and whatnot. It's actually kind of, if you think about it, it's really good. Proficiency in investigation and whatnot, but if you are able to get proficiency bonuses from a selection over here, it would be very helpful for you to know what you already are proficient in. Like Magebreaker, for example. This is the thing that's active right now, right? Proficiency in Arcana. The True Strike, well... but the proficiency in Arcana is something that helps you in dialogue options, or like dialogue situations. Then do we have anything else in here? Proficiency in Constitution saving throws. This is something else. This is something that helps with concentration spells and whatnot. Forbidden Knowledge was the tomb. Then there aren't that many proficiency bonuses that I have in here, it seems. Not that many, no. But I want to see the skill page in here. That would be much more helpful than this. There should be a skill thingy right up there, or like anywhere. It should be possible for you to see where your skills are in the leveling screen. You can do that if you go out of it and cross-reference and whatnot, but you have to know exactly what you get here. Proficiency Investigation, yeah, that could be a thing. Creatures you hit with Ensnaring Strike. I'm not using Ensnaring Strike. Have disadvantage on the saving throw, that's great. Specialize in hunting creatures from other planes. You gain proficiency in Arcana, but I already have proficiency in Arcana, so that's not something that I'm interested in. Protection from Good and Evil would be a spell to be able to cast. I don't know what kind of version of that spell it is. Is it a long rest, short rest? Is it a spell? What is it? Is it a cantrip maybe? Even that would be sweet. You have sworn to serve. Well, we could know this if we would look at the wiki, but again, the wiki should not be your first go-to play. You have sworn to serve a shrine or nation and seek to bring its foes to ruin. Gain skill proficiency in history and armor proficiency with heavy armor. That's actually pretty cool. A way for rangers to get heavy armor proficiency. The other way would be to just go one level in fighter, and you can slot this one level in fighter anywhere where you need it, and you don't go for like a specific level on ranger or whatnot. That's actually kind of interesting. You could figure out a way to offload certain capabilities of the character onto multiclassing, if that one would help. But I don't know if you actually get heavy armor proficiency if you multiclass into fighter as a second choice. Because you have first choices and you have second choices, and the second choice doesn't always get you the stuff that you want. There are always some limits. Whatever. So what was this one good for? Skill proficiency in history? Well, that is again pretty neat. Proficiency in religion and can cast Sacred Flame. Again, pretty neat. The whole idea is to get better dialogue roles in here, be proficient in it, look at certain statues and whatever. So let's see. Yeah, you can really get just another one. The Wasteland Wanderer with the bonus to resistance is pretty cool. The question is, what do we do with this? Proficiency in Sleight of Hand is actually pretty neat. If we are not going directly into Rogue, so this would be something that you may use if you don't go for Rogue. Otherwise, just do multi-class Rogue. I could have also just gone Gloomstalker and ignored the whole idea of Rogue. But the thing about Rogue is that you do get a bonus action at one point, and the bonus action is something that I want. Alright, so what was I? Let's just ignore all of this. This is just spell slot changes, but I don't really care that much about it. They're nice, but not that nice. Let's go into the Rogue, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Actually, how much health do we get? One more health point for the Ranger, and one less health point for the Rogue. So yeah, there's a certain scaling factor. I think you do get more health points even if you go for Barbarian. But anyway, it's kind of interesting how much health you got. Pretty sweet. So we can hide from enemies now with bonus actions. Cunning action dash and cunning action disengage. So all of this makes things now a breeze. It's just that the cunning action dash, I don't really know when or this one will be even useful, but okay. Let's just go for Rogue. That was one of the quickest level ups ever. The next level up, once we interact with the Githyanki, might be a bit trickier.
No one's stopped me yet.
I'm just going to place some maybe markers in here so that you know exactly what. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you can use a dash option. You could also use a hide option. Now, where am I going to slot that now? Whew. You know what? We are going to... This is crouching. This is dashing. And disengage goes in the center because it's a center thing. This one goes forward fast. This one goes nowhere fast. And this one just is somewhere in the middle. Did he get any interesting thingies? No. Okay, I'm not going to move things around over here.
I crave blood.
And their abilities stay pretty much the same. If you think about it, the order
Let's move.
for these abilities is always kind of the same. Let's not mess this up. Okay, so onwards then. Maybe we can even take some stuff. Maybe now, maybe later, who knows. Wow, second most health points. I am amazed. I will be overtaken by Lae'zel.
Another step forward.
Sentries to arms! Istik, state your purpose quickly.
Stand down, Gish. Is it not Vlaakith's command to welcome her faithful?
I expected no visitors, faithful or otherwise. Why have you come?
Where do we... actually, it would... In this case, she knows exactly how to talk to the people, but... How did it fare the last time? We got attacked by a dragon. Actually, no, it wasn't the dragon. The dragon just flew away, thankfully. So what do we have here? Intimidation. Interesting. Reason Ranger. Since when are rangers able to intimidate? I hunt monsters. Either that's you, or it's the Mind Flayers. Your choice. Right there to the point. This is kind of a Githyanki power option there. Pretty sweet. You Githyanki hate Illithid. I have proof that they're invading. We need your help. Okay. But this is not really a persuasion. This is just like stating the obvious. Let me pass. Fighting me will end badly for you. Well, I don't know. But maybe we got the safety function, safe game function behind us pretty much. Let me pass. Fighting me will end. Okay, we got this one with the intimidation. I was infected by an illithid and was told to seek a Githyanki crash. Oh, have the weapon was looking for that your crash wanted found. We have that weapon. What weapon? Wait a minute. What kind of weapon were they even talking about? Was wanted a weapon that the crash wanted. Okay, let's just go into the trading thingy. Does she even have nothing? Okay, no bartering over here. So let's just allow Lae'zel to answer all of that and hope that we're good.
We seek the Zaithisk. Show me the way.
You are infected. A gate thrall is something to eradicate, not reason with.
The faithful may be purified. This is Vlaakith's protocol.
Fine. Let the Gustil carry out your fate. Report to the infirmary at once. And step carefully. Creche Yllek watches you.
Well, oh, look at this. Now she got a level up. Perfect. One dialogue and she got better at it.
This place is enlightening. My own creche, Yllek, is remote and sunless, cloaked in the silence of wild space. My Savage would find this one altogether too genial.
Okay. What about the others? Do they have anything to say about that crash?
Honestly, I don't love walking into a den of killer Gith warriors. Especially not with the you-know-what's still wriggling in our heads. The Gith probably think decapitation is a perfectly reasonable cure.
Oh, about that. Do we have that head with us? I hope so.
What's on your mind?
Mostly in it. Okay, so we got that stuff. Yeah, by the way, where's that head? Nero, wasn't it? No. We don't have Nia's head. Not yet. Huh. Okay, let's not forget about that thing. That head will be important later. But I have it in... What have I placed up here? Check wall Underdark? Check wall? What wall? Huh. I think I've gotten... Yeah, I think I've done that one. It was not that kind of wall. No wall in the Underdark. Like I had my own little notes up here. So that I need to... So that I always know what to do exactly without searching on the map. So, Lae'zel and her leveling. What's she gonna do at level 7 as a fighter? 60 health! That's strange. Why does a fighter not get more health than the ranger? Fighter's a close range combatant. Whatever. We got another superiority die. Your superiority dice are D8s. You have one. Does it change what kind of whatnot the superiority die can be? You have one. At fighter level 10, and these dice become, there you go, D10s. At fighter level 10. Well, it changes. It's kind of weird how I actually read this sentence. You have one at fighter level 10, and then I stop, and then these dice become D10s, and then I was like, okay, wait a minute, at what level do they become D10s? But it happened before. I actually process information the other way around. It's pretty interesting. They fuel your Battlemaster maneuvers and are expended upon use. You regain expended superiority die after a short or long rest. After resting, basically. So, we got one more. Now we can change 2 additional maneuvers that we may be able to perform. That's just one teensy-weensy question. Oh. Wait a minute. Maneuvers are powerful attacks that use superiority dice. Why does it say passive feature? If it is not a passive feature. Like, this thing over here is something that you activate. You can evade attacks by imposing disadvantage on melee, yada yada yada. All of this is inactive. Why does it say passive? That makes no sense. This is not... Okay, wait a minute.
Blackets will be done.
This one does not say passive feature. It says class action. Why is the information on that spell not the same as in the level up? As if there are 2 different things hard-coded in. And one of them are... I don't like that. A passive feature is a passive feature. It's something completely different. Okay, wait a minute. Let me just look for a mod that may make the whole leveling procedure a wee bit better. Leveling mod free. So it's not about getting more experience. It's about getting a better description. Better description. This is not how you write description. Describe with a P. Impactful leveling, nah, but this mod ways to change your leveling experience, makes the game easier, harder, yada yada yada. It's not about the meaning of it, it's about the thing that is written in those options. That is definitely not good. Okay, let's see. Maybe there is a mod called leveling. Something that has to do with leveling. Unlock level curve. Okay, impactful leveling, yada yada yada. Description. Or flavor text or whatever. For noobs. Simpler terms and clearer descriptions. Simplified shiny, okay. For noobs, simpler terms and clearer descriptions. There you go. There's actually a mod that's called Baldur's Gate 3 for noobs. Perfect. Simpler terms and clearer descriptions. Something that makes more sense. Okay. So let's see. How... There's actually more text on it. Main ability for barbarians, fighters, yada yada yada. Increases jump distance, athletic skills, carrying weight, throw capacity, all da 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 da. Ability score takes effect when increase, decrease to even numbers. To even! This is something that no one actually tells you. This is something that you have to figure out. Very interesting. So it's the description of strength when that thing actually works. It's not something for noobs. It's like even more in depth when it comes to informations, right? Noobs usually don't need to know that much, but in this case, you got to be kidding me. Not only does it make the description of stuff better, right? It also gives you a percentage of hitting, which we already got, right? And then it tells you advantage and what it means. That's amazing. That's actually really, really amazing. There's only one step higher than this in combat, and it would tell you exactly the minimum and maximum damage for it. That's actually quite interesting. Wait a minute. I've still not looked at all of this. Okay, chainmail, yada yada yada. How does this one work? Superior metal, you take 2 less. Okay, this is the same. Disadvantage, roll 20. Okay, it basically explains what disadvantage is the moment you look at it. But to be honest, you can always hover over a word that you don't understand and get deeper information. So you don't need to do this, right? It's just quicker. So you don't have to go in depth for this. So what else we have? Proficiency bonus on levels. Okay, that one also goes a bit more in depth, but this is still not all of it. What else we got? Wisdom based resist chance. Okay. So some spells. Okay, it doesn't actually give you much more information. It just rewords it a little bit. Oh, attack bonus and hit chance bonus. Ability modifier, ability bonus. Okay, it changes the words a little bit so that it kind of goes in line a little bit. All of the things that I've modified. Okay. So ability checks become ability rolls. Because the game is all about rolling, right? But once you figured out the whole checking kind of thing, then it doesn't make that much sense. You should also just include like roll d20 or something. So the actual roll that you go against. That would make more sense. Because sometimes it's a... Nah, whatever. So, let's see. What is it that I wanted to do? Maneuvers, maneuvers, maneuvers. Which two do I want? Evasive footworks and disarming attack. Disarming attack is pretty much the best thing ever. Direct an ally to strike a foe. The ally uses a reaction on their next turn to make a weapon attack. The question is, could I use it? And I don't know how this... Okay, I have to open the wiki for this because otherwise I do not know what abilities these are. And this is kind of annoying. Okay, wait a minute. Fighter wiki. And we are looking for fighter level 7. Subclass features and maneuvers. There you go. For the Battle Master. Right. Commander Strike. Like the description is kind of the same. And the cost for it is, guess what? An action, a bonus action, and a superiority die. What do you not see in here? The cost for it. The action, the bonus action, the superiority die. How are you supposed to choose which one you're going for if you don't really know the exact text for it? This one has to be changed. They have not done anything in the leveling system. They just... I mean, you could brute force this, right? You could always test it out. And then re-level the character from the start. But this at one point gets really annoying. But I think they just forgot that there are 2 different descriptions of abilities or like skills, whatnot. In the game. Like there's a leveling description and then there's the actual ability. Well, the word ability is always misleading in here, but skill, no. It's not ability, it's not skill. But every other game uses ability and skill kind of like in the way that this is in action. But sometimes actions are not actions, sometimes they're bonus actions, so it's really confusing. So how would you... It's something that you do, basically. Unbelievable. I couldn't come up with an overarching word for things that you could do, because you could use an action, bonus action, maybe even nothing. So you just activate it in combat and it just has a short rest kind of thing. So it's like free cast or free ability, whatever. But it's not an ability, because abilities are strength, dexterity, and whatnot. Actually, they should be called attributes. Abilities should be called attributes, like in every other bloody game. It's unbelievable. Unbloody believable. But abilities, skills, attributes, huh? Yeah, at what point does it mix it up, and at what point does it make more sense? Because an attribute is something that you attribute to. You put it onto something, right? So you get it on in addition to whatnot. So basically passives. It's kind of what an attribute could be. But most of the time attributes are strength, dexterity, and all of the other stats, right? Stats. Why not just stats? Call them stats. This is your statistics, your stats, your numbers. Makes sense, right? Okay. But no, they're called abilities. But I would call this ability, or skill, if anything, right? A thing that you are skilled in or able to do. Now the question is, should an ability be the action? Or should a skill be the action because it's a special thing, like a magic kind of skill? Yeah, actually there are magical skills and then there are non-magical skills. That would kind of make more sense. That's the stuff that you've learned for the last 10 years, basically. It got hammered into your brain. Right. Okay. It should be called differently. This is, I think this is one reason why getting into this game and understanding it might be more problematic, because the words are just different, right? If you would give it different words that have nothing to do with D&D, but more have something to do with the way people tend to understand what this stuff is, right? No one uses ability for strength, dexterity, constitution, whatnot. Or at least only Dungeons and Dragons people would do that, right? Because they came up with a word for it somewhere in the past, and then they stuck to it. But then the meaning of the word changed, and someone else got a better word for it, and now it's called stats, basically, or attributes, or whatever. But stats and attributes, I think, are a bit more meaningful compared to abilities. Ability would be something like stealing stuff, like in the religion ability or whatever. They're like able to understand arcana somewhat, right? That's something that I would say is an ability, but this is always something that gets me riled up. So, right. Actually, let's just look at this. I want to know, why are stats in D&D called ability? Not how they work. I want to know why they are named that that way. So I've always thought of an order as grouping physical stats. No, this is not it. Why? Ability scores. Yada. If you think about it, D&D probably came first when it came up with the wording or whatnot. But why is it that way? The reason is that one of the stables of D&D is to have your attribute scores range from Okay. It's all about why the numbers are between a certain range or whatnot, but not why they are called that way. Why is strength in D&D called this? Yes. Whatever. That would go a bit too deep in it. So disarming strike is something that we already got. Distracting strike. Distract your target, giving your allies advantage on their next attack roll against it. No, we don't want advantage from our fighter. The fighter is supposed to hit it hard. And this, by the way, is something that just uses an action. Distract the enemy, give your allies advantage on their next attack roll. But does it even do damage? That distractions allies have advantage on their next... so the cost is an action. Cost on hit is a superiority die, sure. Damage, normal weapon damage plus the superiority die. And then the allies get the advantage on it. Okay. Seems about right. That was that one. So in this case, it's something that... Okay, if you go from like Lae'zel to Karlach, then she would have an advantage again. But she also has advantage from the beginning, so that makes no sense. Then it's also fainting attack, which is kind of like the same thing. Use both your action and bonus action on a turn to attack a target with advantage and deal an additional so and so much weapon damage. The additional weapon damage, by the way, is coming from the superiority die, and it costs actions and bonus actions, which I don't like. The fact that you get an advantage for the strike is pretty sweet. Go to attack. Maybe what you can do is to pick similar-ish kind of maneuvers for the fighter. Because you can only use one of the... Oh, can you? No, you can actually use them fairly often, as long as you have those dice. Okay, so in this case you can just pick the best and repeat it as many times as you want. Is there... Nope, there's nothing in here. It's kind of interesting that the disarming strike has a strength save. Wait a minute. On miss does not spend... But the save is only for the additional effect and not for the strength. So, what was I? Feigning attack. Use both your action to attack with advantage, basically. And everything in here basically gives you a bonus weapon damage according to the superiority die or whatnot. So, goading attack. Deal an additional weapon damage and attempt to goad the target attacking you. Target receives disadvantage on attacking any other creature. So, it's a debuff. Okay. What would be better? Giving an enemy a debuff or giving yourself an advantage? Or like, the enemy gets disadvantage. Or should you rather get advantage? Is it better to hit the enemy, or is it better to lower this chance of the enemy hitting you? That's the question. Because the enemy can only do, like, so much, right? Okay, a debuff would not be good. And the reason for this is actually fairly simple. An enemy that just gets the additional debuff may still not be hit, right? It does not increase our chance of making it more dead. Or dead quicker, right? So advantage is better than reducing the enemy's advantage with a disadvantage thing. Because it only works on one target. So we only lower the capabilities of one enemy. And the enemy still may survive. Or survives with a little bit higher chance, right? So we want to defeat the enemy with advantage as often as possible. Disadvantage is something that is a nice to have thing, but it's not something that we should choose, because it just stretches out the fight longer. And the longer the enemy is alive, the more chance it has to do certain things, right? And these things may not always go the right of advantage, disadvantage, whatever. Sometimes they even use special skills that summon allies or buff them or whatever. And it opens up a totally... a huge can of worms. So that's something that we don't want. Okay. Who would have thought that leveling Lae'zel is tricky? Especially if you already have chosen certain maneuvers. That's the thing. Spend a okay, the next one is maneuvering attack. Spend a superiority die to make an attack that deals an additional weapon damage on a hit. Select which friendly creature will gain half its movement speed. It will not provoke attacks of opportunity. This is something nice. Okay, wait. So this is something that makes it possible for you to move your teammates closer in on whatever target it is. Or sometimes even move them out. Wait a minute. Attack an enemy on a hit. You can use forced maneuver on an ally and increase their movement speed. This is a free action that increases the movement speed of an ally by 50%. But the question is, how far can you use forced action? Do you have to stand next to them? Do you have to attack the enemy that would provoke the opportunity, or like that does the opportunity attack, the possible one? Or do we just give this buff out freely? Increase an ally's movement speed. They don't provoke opportunity. Just like this. Nothing in here telling you. There's a little bit of range in it, but you can cast it fairly far. Actually, very interesting. So forced maneuver is something interesting that could get you out of trouble, especially if, let's say, Astarion or... Actually, I don't really take that much damage. But yeah, if Astarion gets very close to someone and needs to reposition himself, and I don't want to use his bonus action in order to disengage or something. But even using a bonus action is really not that big of a deal. Then having something that is more damaging on the enemy might be better. Something that hits with advantage, right? That would be better in general. So what else? Menacing attack. Spend a superiority die to... What does it say over here actually? Spend a superiority die to make an attack that deals an additional 1d8 damage and possibly frightens the target. And the nice thing about frightened is... So... Wait a minute. This one doesn't tell you action or bonus action at all. Most of the other skills here, most of them, not all of them, maneuvers, not skills. they just are action based and not bonus and action thingy. So just something to keep in mind. There are just two so far that are a bit tricky. So anyway, spend a superiority die to deal weapon damage. Plus so and so much physical damage coming from the superiority die. And possibly frighten them. And frightening, something very sweet. Frightened entities also have disadvantage on ability checks. Oh-ho. And attack rolls. Oh-ho-ho-ho. That's something neat. So they get disadvantage. Cannot move. Oh, cannot move. Disadvantage on ability checks, so strength, dexterity, whatnot. The really nice thing about it is that it gives the enemy disadvantage on attack rolls. And this is something really, 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 really sweet. What was the other thing with the disadvantage? Yeah, goading attack. That's also some disadvantage stuff, but must attack the goading creature if possible. Disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than the spellcaster. Okay. Goading attack is somewhat similar, but goading attack has a wisdom save, right? Because you kind of like scream at them. And menacing attack has what kind of save? It doesn't seem to have a save. No. Weapon action, DC, wisdom saving throw. Okay. A wisdom save. Why is it stated here? It's just on the condition itself. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Okay. Precision attack. That could be something very nice. Let's see. Does it say anything interesting? You can spend a superiority die to add it to the result to the attack roll. It's kind of like advantage, except actually you could combine that. So if you are in an advantage situation, then getting two advantages does not work, or like you don't benefit from two advantages. So if you have advantage and your chance of hitting is still very low, then precision attack may help you in this regard, which is a pretty cool thing. Level 10 with improved combat superiority, the attack roll bonus is so and so much. Affected entity has a bonus to its next weapon attack roll equal to its superiority die. So the roll is always like 20-ish, whatnot. But in this case, we get a bonus of 1 to 8 or 1 to 10. Makes it easier for us to hit things, but you can spend a... The thing is, it does not turn into... it says to its next weapon attack roll. So it's not permanent. And it looks as if you can not use it very often because it has a long rest duration. Meaning that this thing can't be used all the time. Very interesting. Not only does it not give you bonus damage, it also has a rest limit, which is a wee bit tricky. So precision attack seems maybe even good on paper, but maybe not so. It has too many limits. We want to defeat the enemy quick. That means we need to deal damage. If there's no damage, then there's no dead enemy. Spend a spirit. So pushing attack. So spend a spirit die to make an attack that deals an additional 1d8 damage and possibly pushes the target back 4.5 meters. Why do we want to do that? So either you deal damage or you push them, right? If you want to push them, then a chasm might be very helpful right next to it. Then it makes sense, but you should just push them directly, right? Dealing damage and pushing is kind of like unnecessary. Then getting a better push ability might be better. But in this case, what we want as a fighter is to stand right next to our enemy so that if they leave our opportunity attack radius, we trigger the attack of opportunity. But if we already push them away, then we cannot trigger it, so it's kind of productive for a fighter. So pushing attack seems good on paper, again, but only if a chasm nearby. So that's definitely not good. Raleigh is something that I, for some reason, have already gotten over here. It's pretty cool. Temporary hit points, pretty sweet. Superiority die, grant an ally, yada yada, bolstering their resolve. An ally. And that ally can, I think, also be yourself. Anyway. So it's a very good ability. Skill. Whatever. Maneuver. A thing to do. So, riposte. When a hostile creature misses you... wait a minute. Oh. Okay, look at this. All of those active thingies are... Okay, no, this is a golden one. Usually it's all red or blue action thingy, like precision attack or something chance related. This is also something chance related in a way. Riposte is not something chance related. It's brighter, more whitish, which means this riposting might be a real passive. Whatever. When a hostile creature misses you with a melee attack, expend a superiority die to retaliate with a powerful strike that deals an additional 1d8 damage. Now, question. How does that one work? I think riposte works differently, which means that having riposte... Yes, it's a reaction. Perfect. So... when a creature misses you with a melee attack, expend a... This is a reaction. Toggle a reaction during your turn. It will automatically execute when needed. Now the question is, how many reactions can you use in combat? Usually just once per turn. Reaction as a resource. Is there a way to get more reactions? The reaction resource is expended by creatures when taking reactions. Well, we got that much. Which are actions that a creature is prompted to take in response to certain triggers. Okay, so they get triggered and you can say yes or no. Sometimes you can have an automatic trigger, so it just happens without you giving you a go, pretty much. Either on their own turn or another creature. So the nice thing is, it's either their own turn or another creature. Sometimes it triggers when you miss something, sometimes it triggers when you hit something, whatever. But I think mostly it happens when you miss something, like Karlach, for example, has a trigger chance to hit with advantage if she misses, right? That's a nice safety reaction there. Or is it even a reaction? I don't even know. But it definitely works in that regard. So, some reactions do not require a creature to expand a reaction. These are usually class features that are triggered under specific circumstances. Often as part of making an attack, such as when a rogue is prompted to make a sneak attack, or when a paladin is prompted to use Divine Smite. What about a barbarian? This is something that I kind of forgot about. Whatever. It doesn't tell you how many reactions you can have. It just tells you where they are found on the hotbar. It's the bottom right, basically. On top of it. So, and a little dialogue box, kind of. So, reactions are actions, yada yada yada. We got a reaction tab. We have limitations. What limitations? We don't care about limitations. Reactions tab. Where's that thing? For each character, for reactions located on the spellbook page of the character. Ah, there you go. Okay, so L. Reactions can be set to be taken automatically, or the game can set to prompt the player first. If taken the reaction expense any resource, they are listed under the reaction's name. Makes sense. Makes sense. Those that do not are generally class-specific features, which use the reaction mechanics such as Divine Smite, Sneak Attack, or Reckless Attack. So Reckless Attack is kind of like a reaction, because it prompts you to react, but it's not a reaction, because it's class-specific, which Riposte is also kind of, because it's a maneuver and coming from the fighter. But anyway. This is real reaction. So anyway, yeah, it does weapon damage. It's pretty sweet. What else does it? I completely forgot what it does again. So when a hostile creature misses you with a melee attack, spend a spirit die to retaliate with a powerful strike that deals energy. When a hostile creature misses you, so it's a love strike, kind of. So Riposte is a good thing, because we don't need to think about Riposte. It just happens. It's kind of like a bonus to Sentinel. But Sentinel only triggers if there's an enemy nearby. Where's that thing when you need it? Sentinel opportunity attack. There you go. You have advantage on opportunity attacks. Ooh. Since when do we have that one? That's actually quite nice. One reason not to get the pushing attack. Sentinel Snare. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, it can no longer move. Wow. Somehow Sentinel seems to be really overpowered. When an enemy within melee range attacks an ally, so not us, you can use a reaction to make a weapon attack against that enemy. So this is a real nice retaliation thing. The thing about Sentinels is that in order to help them, they are not supposed to be, or they cannot be a they cannot be a sentinel. Question is, where have I gotten that? I think it was a feat. S for sentinel, wasn't it? Sentinel. There. Sentinel Vengeance. Yeah, I think that was the one. Well, the other sentinel feats apply to... No, this is not it. When an enemy in melee range attacks an ally, you can use reaction to make the weapon attack against that enemy. Target ally must not have the sentinel feat. So you can only help non-sentinels. Which is kind of like iffy, because it would be really cool if both of them are sentinels and they watch each other's back. That would be sweet. Anyway, we got ourselves the Riposte as one of those maneuvers to choose. Now we're just choosing the other one. It could even be Commander Strike, who knows? Let's see, Sweeping Attack. Sounds great. Swing a weapon in a rapid sweeping arc to attack multiple enemies at once. Roll your superiority die for damage. So, Sweeping Attack. What is the thing that we're... Okay, so it's an action plus superiority die. And it is some kind of like... It says normal weapon range. And weapon damage. Could you Nothing in here tells you it's a melee specific weapon, so maybe you can even use it in range. I don't... Wait a minute. Flame? Sweeping attack range. Does that work or not? Sweeping attack... No. Melee question mark. Is it broken or is it not? Sweeping attack. Can you use like a crossbow and just go pop, 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 pop? That would be sweet. You and expanded vertical, on top of that. I'm assuming it's a bug, that's not it. On the second attack, it's sort of separate both targets. It said, as I've played multiple fighters into the heart, one of the second half is key. Wait a minute, what's the wording on this thing? Swing your weapon in a rapid, sweeping arc to attack multiple enemies at once. Roll your superiority die for damage. Damage, superiority die, and weapon superiority die, weapon damage. Huh, wait a minute. What about disarming attack? How does that one? Oh! There's a teensy-weensy difference over here. The disarming strike is normal weapon damage plus superiority die weapon damage. Whereas the special maneuvers, some of them at least, have only that special weapon damage. Very interesting. Riposte, for example, is a full weapon damage, so this one hits hard once it hits. So sweeping attack is damage in an arc, but only the superiority die. So very, very limited. It's AoE, yes, but low damage. So something against an awful lot of enemies. But you have to focus them around, and to be honest, AoE stuff is like arrows, right? Arrows are much better when it comes to AoE related things than this. You should rather deal more single target damage, I would say. Okay, what's the next one? Trip attack. So, spend a superiority die to make an attack that deals an additional 1d8 damage and possibly knocks the target prone, which is always nice. The target must be large or smaller. Okay. That second part is kind of iffy. The prone bit is actually quite nice. What is this one? Trip attack melee, trip attack range. A trip attack range, nice. Weapon damage plus zone so much. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there you go. Now you get the real description. Okay, so if you don't want to open the wiki, just click on the thing, and then it just tells you exactly what it does. Nice. Why not like that from the get-go? Why can't I see this description right here? Makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. Next weapon attack gets an attack roll equal to... You gotta be kidding me. You have to figure that out first. But it's nice that this one gives you 2 for 1. Like a ranged and a melee thing. Pretty cool. The target can't be huge in size. Okay, so there's large, medium, small, and venti. The powerful shot then possibly knocks the target prone. Possibly. Possibly how? On miss does not spend your... Wait. It says possibly. Prone, unconscious, yada yada yada. What do they mean by possibly? I do not see any safety rolls or whatnot. Trip attack. It's a strength save, by the way. Strength is nowhere in here. It just says that this one is trip attack melee, trip attack range also melee. So that's weird. Really weird. Recharge per turn. Per turn, which means we can use this all the time. We deal weapon damage plus the bonus, and we have a chance to knock the enemy down. That's really good. The only problem about it is that it's a strength save, and strength is one of those annoying stats that's always too high on the enemy, similar to constitution. So it would be nice to take down an enemy that... Oh no, wait a minute. It only works on certain sizes, doesn't it? Wait a minute. Trip attack is combat maneuver, deal damage, possibly knock him prone. Yes. The target can't be huge in size. A powerful attack that possibly knocks the target prone. The description itself doesn't tell you much about it. Can't move or take actions, bonus actions. So it basically hinders the enemy from doing things, which is pretty good. And the fact that we can use it again in order to stun lock the enemy with that is pretty sweet. I think I'm going for trip attack. Trip attack has a really good utility. The other way would be the advantage attack. Oh boy. Where's the thing that I... There you go. That it just costs too much. Direct an and also direct an ally to strike a foe. The ally uses a reaction on the next turn to make a weapon attack. If you think about it, that skill over here, that maneuver, might be something very funny for a character that's more like a pacifist or like general kind of build. You're just going for fighter for some reason, but the fighter never uses an action themselves, right? You kind of. Or maybe you can rally, right? This is a passive thing that helps people. Then you don't deal damage yourself. You only are like a little bit on the sidelines. So that would be pretty neat. You have evasive footwork, so you stay alive. But this might be a bit counterproductive because you want to have enemies deal damage, right? So you are the commander and you command everyone else to attack, right? So what you want is a teammate that does really high damage, and then you are the commander and you say, okay, attack this one. You don't even need the good attacks. In this case, I don't even know if the enemy... Wait, how does Commander Strike work again? Affected entity can immediately use a reaction to make a weapon attack. But the thing is, it uses the reaction, so we cannot use it too many times. Or at least we cannot count on the reaction for other purposes. It's the only thing. Commander Strike triggers extra attack for the character using it. What? Oh, this is amazing. So extra attack is something that you can only unlock at level 5 or something. But having Commander Strike with extra attack means that you can use it and someone else does the attack for you multiple times in a row. Pwah, that is amazing. Okay, the weapon attack given to an ally does not trigger extra... Wait, what? Okay, wait a minute. Again, Commander Strike triggers extra attack on the character using it. Oh, using it, the Commander Strike. The weapon attack given to an ally does not trigger extra attack since it doesn't cost an action. Oh, okay. It would be too funny. All right. It would actually be fair, right? It doesn't trigger your own extra attack, but it triggers their extra attack. Kind of makes sense. It would be better if it doesn't trigger your own extra attack. But alright. Best use on a character that can make strong weapon attacks, such as paladins or rogues or Lae'zel. This is a potent way to trigger an extra off-turn sneak attack from a rogue. Oh, is it? Rogue's reaction, especially so if they use a ranged weapon, as there's no way to use it for opportunity attacks otherwise. Interesting. But an opportunity attack happens without actions, or only with react. This is the thing. The opportunity attack is like a bonus on your damage output, but you shouldn't use a Commander Strike in order to trigger that. That makes no sense. And also the superiority die just gets used up without even being beneficial in terms of rolling. Something to keep in mind. You don't get any bonuses from that. You use that thing to use it up. You use a bonus action, an action, a superiority die. So the only good thing about it would be if your character is too far away from a certain target and someone else is closer, and it would be best for them to really die now. So yeah, that might be the only good thing about it. So what was I? Disarming strike, that wasn't it. Destruction thingy, also melee in range, pretty neat. Distract your target, giving your allies advantage on their next attack roll against it. Giving your ally... Okay, wait a minute. Which was one that I like to have. Like, I like the Riposte. Because if the enemy misses, then we just dish back and everything's good. Now comes the interesting bit. Do we want to get the prone thingy? But prone is a strength related kind of thing. So it's a strength safety roll. The other one, as I said, was an advantage bonus. And advantage is always nice to have. Now the question is, how long does that stay? It does damage, which is good. It does more damage with the 1d8 thingy. Distract the enemy. Does that have a save? Distraction strike. It does. Yeah, look at that. We have a distracting strike. Distract a target, giving your allies advantage on their next attack roll against it. Now comes the big question. Does only one enemy get the advantage? Because it's the actual next attack happening on the target. Or is it the next attacks of everyone attacking it? Right? So everybody gets one advantage attack against it. Right? The distractors allies have advantage on their next attack against the creature. It's distracted for one turn. And it doesn't disappear, it seems. So you don't only have advantage now, once, you have advantage multiple times. And everyone benefits from it, which is really good. That is amazing. Which means rogues would benefit a lot from distracted stats. Not only can we trigger this thing, but we also get the advantage. This is amazing. And you can use it as a range ability as well, like a ranged fighter, right? Just get distraction strike, and then all of a sudden everybody gets advantage. Just like that. It's like casting Foglight. Except for the fact that Foglight is somewhat tricky if you stand in it as well. But okay. It's a nice way to give enemies, or like your own team advantage bonus. Wait a minute. BT3 distracted. Distracting strike. So distracting strike. Or goading and distracting attack. I think these are the other ones. So distraction attack is something really cool. I'm gonna go for Riposte anyway. I'm just going to look for the other ones. Commander strike is a little bit meh. Okay. Failing attack was what again? Use both your action and bonus action this turn to attack a target with advantage and bonus damage. So this is good, but this one only comes from one entity. This one only comes from Lae'zel. It's a single player thing. Very nice. But it doesn't really involve the team. And maybe the additional damage that you may have gotten with the distraction strike is now gone, obviously. And of course it uses action and bonus action. So 2 resources instead of 1 or 3. If you count the die there. So what about the goading thing? Goad an enemy into attacking only you. If the enemy attacks only me and I have riposte and it misses, it basically gets hit in the face constantly. That's just one teensy-weensy problem. Oh, actually you can trigger this with range as well, so you can make them come towards you, maybe trigger some traps or whatnot. Very nice strategic thing. Problem, it's only there for one turn, so you have to constantly reapply it. There's only a limited amount of stuff you can actually do, and you get attacked from it, which is awesome. Actually, you do get attacked no matter what. And this one just directs it towards a certain target that may be able to withstand it. Lae'zel, in this case. Good enemy into attacking you. It gains... Oh, disadvantage on attack rolls. So it gains disadvantage, which makes the attacks less likely to hit. it would be good for you if you combine this with the riposte thingy, right? So this one lets the enemy attack you with disadvantage. So they don't hit you that often. And if they don't hit you, then they get a sword right in the face. Oh, this is such a nice combination. But the thing is, you shouldn't use it in range. Or like, you should use it somehow, right? But you shouldn't stand too far away from the enemy so that it does not manage to miss its attack against you. So, you shouldn't kite the enemy in this case. Very interesting. Right, trade attack is amazing since the prone condition cancels their turn and gives free advantage on next attack with its grateful. Oh, prone does the same thing. Very interesting. Okay, so wait a minute. Trip attack makes the enemy prone. Of course, you can't do this all the time. And then we also have, what was the other one? Distracting attack. This one gives your allies advantage against the target. Everyone. Whereas this one here, this one doesn't seem to be... Yeah, this one cannot miss. Very interesting. But this one can. A powerful attack that possibly knocks the target prone. The target must be large or smaller. Or does... Oh, maybe large means like this size. Huh, who knows? Maybe they're like large, like human size, and not large as in a giant size. Because then we also have like huge and whatnot, monstrosities. Okay, so these are the three sizes: large, small, and venti. Okay, there's no medium in here, right? The more you know. Okay, so this is something that I did not think about. The prone state, and the prone state gives you advantage on the target anyway. Something to think about. So distracting thing hits all the time. There is no safety against it, so it happens and everybody gets advantage, and you also dealt some damage. So when it comes to damage, both of them are the same. When it comes to their effects, this one works all the time. The distracting strike, and it gives the advantage. But this one over here makes the enemy fall prone, which means they do not get their turn. And because this game is a what's it called? Because this game is a action economy game, it means that stealing enemies' turns is better overall, right? Or like making something against the enemy so that they can't do their turn properly or whatever. So this is really good. And it also gives you advantage on top of that. This is something that you wouldn't know if you just look at the prone set and you're like, okay, they fall down, everything is it. But no, they can't move or take actions. Very good. Bonus actions and reactions. And they have disadvantage on strength and dexterity saving throws. Right. Saving throws. And then attacks against the prone creature have advantage if they are made within 3 meters of the creature. Okay, wait a minute. This is something very interesting. The advantage of prone is only usable in melee-ish kind of ranges. Depending on how far 3 meters are. Okay, maybe you can get advantage on it with with ranged attacks if you are within those 3 meters. But I don't know if 3 meters trigger your disadvantage because you're too close. There's also this limitation, like you're too close, you get disadvantage for some reason. Anyway, a prone creature must spend half its movement speed to stand up, which makes the following turn better for you again. Looks like trip attack is the thing to go. Maybe we can get even more maneuvers at a later point in time. I don't know. No. Oh, yes, we get. Wait. Yeah, we get 2 additional maneuvers later. I already am pretty much maxed out. Most of those maneuvers don't really help me that much. That much more, let's say. The next one will definitely be Distracting Strike. That's one of the 2 additional maneuvers that I'm gonna go for. Later, level 10. You can pretty much learn every one of those. Now the question is, which other one's good? You can use both your action and bonus action on a turn to attack a target with advantage. Haha. Action and bonus action. Why did it... Wait. Oh, because it didn't get the riposte here. Oh, okay. Action and bonus action. I never liked the fact that you use actions and bonus actions. But you get advantage. Okay, so Distracting Strike comes later. Commander Strike is something more tricky, whatever. It's only good if no one stands nearby. Maneuvering it. Oh yeah, maneuvering attack is something good. On a hit, you can use forced movement on an ally and they can reposition themselves. This is pretty sweet. Okay. Menacing attack? That was the fear thing? They cannot move and they are frightened. And frightened entities also have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. Yeah. But they can still attack you. Then there's the precision thing. The next weapon attack gets an attack roll bonus equal to your superiority die. Until long rest, like, why? And then there's the pushing thing. Which makes no sense, because why do we even care? And sweeping attack is the AoE thing, which is nice to clear smaller monsters, whatever. You like, look at the damage, 1 to 8. Or 1 to 10 afterwards. So, it's a nice AoE thing. But again, arrows are better than that. I don't know what to choose afterwards. 1 additional maneuver, yes. Maybe. Okay, maybe. Which one was it? Oh no, 2. The goading attack, because they attack me and then hopefully, and then I can do a riposte afterwards. So basically 2 attacks for 1. And then I can go with the distracting thingy. Yes, everything that's kind of like team buff related. But yeah, let's just go for the riposte. That happens still. And the trip attack for the prone and bonus advantage and whatnot. That could be very beneficial. Let's just use that one. And leveling up Lae'zel took very long. Because choosing, or like understanding and choosing the most fitting maneuver for one's playstyle is not the easiest of tasks. So wait a minute, I also have to maybe move that a little bit around. That's like a melee thing that goes down. It's a range thing that goes over here, and back we go. Perfect. Right, let's end this episode, which was all about leveling and talking to Gish Far'aag. And let's continue exploring that thingy in the next episode. Until then, like and subscribe, of course.